Well, the time has arrived to reread that trilogy. So you may have guessed what the trilogy is, but if you haven't, the trilogy is the Hunger Games trilogy. My nightmares are usually about losing you. I'm okay once I realize you're here. If it weren't for the baby. You love me, real or not real? I tell him, real. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is RJ Vishet, and in my previous vlog, as you may or may not know, I reread the original Hunger Games trilogy in preparation to read Sunrise on the Reaping and Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, okay? So go check that video out first before you watch this video, okay? So in this video, as I said, I'm going to be reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. I unfortunately don't have the paperback copy of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so I'm going to be primarily reading it on my Kindle, and if I feel like listening to the audiobook, I may also do that, okay? So let's get started with reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This book is about the villain in the original Hunger Games trilogy, Coriolanus Snow. He is the president of the capital, and this is his villain origin story. So in the beginning of this book, he is a poor boy in the capital. He lives with his grandmother and his cousin Tigress, and he gets chosen to be a mentor of one of the persons who get chosen as the tribute for the Hunger Games, and he gets assigned the District 12 girl as a tribute, and so he's the District 12 girl's mentor, and the story goes from there. I am exactly at page 28, 4% of the way through the book, and that is what has happened till now. I am enjoying the book. I had first DNF'd this book, but I don't know. Let's see what will happen, okay? So let's get started. Imagine that the cover of the book is here, okay? So yeah, I'll get to reading and I will update you once I'm like 50% of the way through the book.
There's only like certain types of people in each office.
So guys, I'm on page 269. I'm on chapter 18 and 50% of the way through Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Let's talk about a few things, okay? In this book, one of the other mentors with Coriolanus, she was like taunting a tribute by offering her a sandwich and then taking it away, offering it to her, then taking it away, and the tribute killed the mentor, and then they killed the tribute. Because why was the mentor taunting the tribute at first? Because it's just so cruel. Let me set the scene for you, okay? So the tributes were kept in a cage inside of the zoo. You know how animals are inside of the zoo? That's how the tributes were kept, and the mentor was offering the sandwich to the girl outside of the bars, and the tribute was inside the bars. Now you can feel how the tribute felt, and that's just very, I don't like it at all, okay? Coriolanus feels so possessive over Lucy Gray, and she's not even his. Snow is just Lucy's mentor, and you can see how he became so possessive in the Hunger Games, the original trilogy. Well, you know what they say, the show is not over until the Mockingjay sings. We get Tigress in this book, and I absolutely love her. So, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes takes place, how many years? Okay, So in this book, the tributes are going through the 10th Hunger Game. In the original Hunger Games, the tributes are going through the 74th Hunger Games. So this book takes place 64 years before the original trilogy, okay? This book kind of feels like a slow read, like I'm not reading it as fast as I was reading like the original trilogy, and I'm not really enjoying that, but it's okay, you know. So Janice is one of the other mentors. He is like Snow's kind of like friend. He's so like Katniss, his revolutionized thoughts and stuff like that. I really enjoy Sid Janice, okay? Snow gives Lucy a white rose. There is so much symbolisms of roses in this book, and you can see why Snow keeps a rose on his lapel. Katniss was a fighter forced to perform, and Lucy is a performer forced to fight. The law to make you watch the Hunger Games compulsory was one of Snow's classmates' idea, and it actually shows up in the original trilogy, and the many cruel ideas that Snow eventually implemented in his reign as president actually developed from his friends and how they were discussing to make the Hunger Games more eventful and inciting to watch. So yeah, that is what I've written. I don't know if you can see it. In this book, the Hunger Games aren't as loved as they are in the other books like Catching Fire, because they have to force people to watch the Hunger Games, so they are thinking of ways to make the Hunger Games more, watchable. So they are making the tributes perform and stuff like that. I hate it. We are also getting Snow's lineage and his family. So yeah, that's all the updates for now. I will talk to you once I'm done with the book and we can finally start Sunrise and the Reaping together. So Bobbin, Mayfair, who's the third? Finished. So now we get to start Sunrise and the Reaping, and I'm so excited, guys. I'll start it tomorrow and I'll read the first chapter with you tomorrow, okay? Okay, guys, the time has officially arrived to start Sunrise and the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, okay? Let's get started. And another thing is that this is my first ever hardcover book, so a prized possession, okay? So let's get started. Part 1, The Birthday. Happy birthday, Hamish. Hamish's birthday is on the reaping day, which means when the 75th quarter quell happened, it was his birthday, which means when Katniss was chosen, it was his birthday, which means when he was chosen in the 50th games, it was his birthday. Oh my god. He has a brother. No brother was mentioned in the Hunger Games trilogy. Hamish has a brother. I need to remove the dust jacket. I'm not finding it comfortable reading with the dust jacket. So. Though I'm not a drinker myself. I need some stamina to read this. Carmine, he was mentioned in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Oh my god. Burdock Everdeen? Everdeen? Like Katniss's father? Oh my god. The head of a snake hisses at the back of a long-necked bird. Head of a snake, long-necked bird. Wow, love this. So guys, I think you saw yesterday I finished Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I feel like I'm going to be rating this book 3 stars. I recommend it if you want to read Sunrise on the Reaping. Not my favorite in the trilogy because we just have these preconceived notions of precedence now, and getting this story made me realize who he is as a person more, but I would never reread this book. So yeah, so let's discuss some things. At the end of the book, we don't know what happened to Lucy Gray, and I think that is the point of the book because President Snow also does not know what happened to her, and that just shows the everlasting pain that she will ever haunt him. So yeah, she could fly around District 12 all she liked, but she and her mockingjays could never harm him again. Whenever there were like songs in this book, I either listened to them on Spotify or I skipped them. Sorry, not sorry. President Snow hates to see a District 12 tribute coming. Lucy Gray, what happened? We all know. Katniss Everdeen, what happened? We all know. Hamish Abernathy, you all know, but I don't know as I haven't read this book yet. The way Lucy Gray caught him when he lied to her, I love that scene. The ending of this book was crazy, definitely crazy. Not a cliffhanger, but we realized many things, okay? How he became President Snow, that is what we realized. So I feel like I'm going to be giving this book 3 stars. And as you saw, I started reading this book today morning. I had to go to my classes for studying at 9 o'clock. I woke up at 7 so I could have some time to read this book. Amazing. I only read like 17 to 23 pages in 33 minutes. So yeah, but whatever. So uh, you have to read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes to read this book because all of the things that are in this book, there are so many mentions of the people that are in this book. In that book, we get to know the name of Katniss's father, we get to know the name of Katniss's mother, and all of those things, and I am loving it. To say I'm excited is an understatement, and to say I am not afraid of reading this book, it's a false statement. So let's discuss some things of this book. I'm on chapter 2 or 3, something like that. The book. Hamish's birthday is on the reaping day. So what that means is during the 74th Hunger Games, it was his birthday when Katniss got chosen. During the 75th Hunger Games, when he got chosen again, it was his birthday. During the 50th Hunger Games, it is his birthday and he gets chosen as the tribute. Having a birthday on the reaping day is just so wild to me, and the pain that he goes through, oh my god, I love Hamish as a character. He's one of my favorite characters ever. Katniss's father's name is Burdock Everdeen and he's one of Hamish's best friends. Hamish also has a brother, guys. There is no mention of a brother in the original trilogy, so I think I know what happens to him. You know, I just talk about Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The female character in that was Lucy Gray Bard, and Hamish's lover in this book is Lenore Dove, and she's a bard. So that is why I said that you need to read the The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes before you read this. It says, okay. I have to agree, and though I'm not a drinker myself, he is not a drinker at the beginning of this book, and yeah. Lenore Dove gives Hamish a flint striker because it is his birthday, for his birthday gift, and this is the flint striker, and I just really like how it is on the cover of the book. Astrid March is Katniss's mother's name. I love you like all fire. July 4th is Hamish's birthday, okay? Okay, you know in Catching Fire where they were watching the previous tributes Hunger Games and they watched the 50th Hunger Games, which was the quarterquel, which is Hamish's games, and there was a scene where Suzanne Collins wrote that three girls were nodding their heads together and one of them was chosen. That scene is described so beautifully in this book. I love that scene. Image describes Maisie as the most stuck-up girl in town, and I just know that their relationship is going to take a complete 180 degree. We also get a mention of Otho Melark in this book. Otho Melark is some relation or relative of Peeta Melark, who is a descendant, I don't know, I think. So yeah, that is also cool. Plutarch appears. Plutarch Heavensby, who plays a great role in Mockingjay, appears in this book. Page 36, that's all I'll say. They will not use our tears for their entertainment. These are all the notes I've made for Sunrise on the Reaping. And I'm just on chapter 3. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue reading this book, and yeah, I'll get to reading. This is the back of the book, okay? When you have been set up to lose everything you love, what is there left to fight for? I'll get to reading. I'll update you once I'm like 25 or 50% of the way through the book, because I started this reading vlog series for this book. So I feel like I have to update you once I'm like 25% of the way through the book, okay? Yeah. Mention of Lucy Gray Bird. So guys, I'm 26% of the way through Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I'm on chapter 8 right now. I'm on chapter 8 right now, page 104. This is what I'm using as a bookmark. Ignore that. So I'm like this much of the way through the book. Absolutely loving the book. Hamish's character is so interesting to me. When I first originally read this, the original Hunger Games trilogy, I was like so invested in his storyline, even though I did not know what happened to him. I absolutely loved him from the first book. So yeah, that shows. Let's talk about a few things. Actually, before that, let me tell you what this book is about, okay? So every quarterquel, so like every 25 years, the game makers who have designed the Hunger Games make the Hunger Games more exciting to watch by adding special features or stuff like that. So in the 25th Hunger Games, the people of the district had to choose the two children that had to go into the Hunger Games. So in the 50th Hunger Games, which is Hamish's Hunger Games, twice the numbers of tributes have to be chosen. So usually there are like 24 tributes in total. In this Hunger Games, there are like 48 tributes. So the chances of survival are like half. And the story is, I have only read like 8 chapters, like 104 pages. I have wanted to cry so many times, but I've held myself. Okay, so Hamish is chosen as one of the tributes. The other 3 tributes who are chosen are Luella, Maisie and Wyatt. So that is how it goes. Maisie is such a fashion queen. I absolutely love her. She will be talking to someone and then she will be like criticizing how they look, even though she's going to her death, even though she is going to the Hunger Games. Absolute queen, okay? So you know Effie Trinket, she is like the person who chooses the tributes, who puts her hand into the bowl and picks out the slip. So another character is like Effie, whose name is Drusilla. She's like Effie in this book. So Drusilla slaps Maisily. Maisily slaps her right back. Such a badass character. I laughed so hard at that point. But after like 1-2 paragraphs, I wanted to cry. So yeah, that's how this book is. Laughter, sadness, sadness, grief, grief, crying, yeah. So because you know what has happened to Hamish's games, you know what is going to happen, and still you want to find out how it has happened. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. I don't know if my hair looks good. I just cut it. I love short hair. So yeah. Um, okay, this is one of the quotes that Hamish says. Okay, and while Lenore Dove will forever be my true love, Luella is my one and only sweetheart. Luella is my one and only sweetheart. And he calls Katniss sweetheart in the future books. Not in the future books, the previous books. Yeah, that hit hard. Hard. When Sid says, Haymitch, Haymitch, I almost cried. So when they're taking Haymitch away, Haymitch's brother, Sid, cries, Haymitch, Haymitch, don't go. I almost wanted to cry at that point. So are you going to be my ally or what, sweetheart? Sweetheart? If I had a little sister her age, I would want her to be just like Luella. I'm battling my emotions so hard, guys. If I had a little sister her age, I would want her to be just like Luella. Maisily gives a small smile. Well, I have strong opinions on fashion. Okay, Mr. Donner, who is Maisely's father, gave Maisely a Mockingjay pure gold pin. And in my previous reading blog, I said that Mage's aunt had a Mockingjay pin. I meant it was hers. So the pin was Maisely's originally, and we get to know that in this book. Nope, 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 nope. And Mage gave the Mockingjay pin to Katniss. So Maisily had the Mockingjay pin, and Katniss also got the Mockingjay pin. Yeah. I've written so many notes for this whole series. I literally want to reread this book and I've not even finished it. Can you believe me? Believe me because I'm telling the truth. You are the best ally I could hope for. You and me to the end, I promise. What happened to Luella? I'm so sad for her. But when Haymitch stands up against Snow and he claps, I love that scene very, very, very much. I was going to give her this for her token so she would have something from home. Thanks, I say. She likes flowers. She doesn't belong to them at all. If this is still being recorded and possibly aired, at least in the capital, maybe it does make a difference if I resist as best as I can. Maybe this is where I paint my own poster. Then I gesture to him and begin to applaud, giving credit where credit is due. Such a badass character, such a badass move, Haymitch. So, as Haymitch and the others are tributes, they need to have mentors, okay? So, one of the mentor is Virus, who we see in Catching Fire, and the other mentor is Mags, who we also see in Catching Fire. If you mess with me, it won't hit me as hard as this book is hitting me. Virus is one of the mentors and Mags is also one of the mentors. Are you kidding me? We also get a mention of Finnick. Something happened and Haymitch is crying. So Mags hugs him and pats his back and treats him very softly, very gently. In District 12, when someone dies, they prepare like ham and hock broth soup. What is it? So when someone dies in District 12, they prepare bean and ham hock soup, and Max specially orders it from the kitchen for Hamish. I love Max and Virus so much. I love nuts and bolts. I'm so sad, guys. I have so much thing. This book brings the series together and wraps it with a bright red bow, and I absolutely love it. Things have been in movement for years before the first Hunger Games book even got published. So, this book takes place Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was the 10th Hunger Games. This is the 50th Hunger Games. So this book takes place 40 years after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and this book takes place 74 minus 50 is 24. So this book takes place 24 years before the original Hunger Games book, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sad. I don't want this book to end. I also want it to end so I can get rid of the pain that it is causing me, but I also want to reread it. So make sense of that if you can, because I know I'm not able to make sense of it. Anyway, we have still not reached the actual Hunger Games where they start fighting and stuff like that. We are at the part where the tribute parade has happened, so now the interviews are left. I'm liking it. I will update you once I'm like, let me see, there are 30 chapters in this book. I'm also reading it on my Kindle. I'm also listening to the audiobook while I'm coloring. So there are 28 chapters in this book, so I will update you once I'm like on chapter 14. Yeah, I'll update you once I'm like chapter 15, so page 205, exactly 100 more pages. And yeah, that's all my thoughts for now. I'm absolutely loving the book, definitely giving me 5-star feelings. And yeah, many of the things which have been discussed, I don't know if I said this previously, but at the starting of the book, Hamish states that he's not a drinker himself. Yeah, that's all. I will update you once I'm like 50% of the way through the book. Virus just said something that Hamish said to Katniss and Peeta before they went into the caves. The same advice. This book is killing me. I need to take a break. So, yeah, I'll start reading probably in like 1 hour or two, but not right now. Okay, guys, I'm on chapter 16 of Sunrise on the Reaping. Where is my bookmark? Okay, page 218. 51% of the way through the book. This much. Absolutely loving it. There was one time where the district parade and stuff like that was going on, and I was kind of like, it went a little bit slow, but I don't care because of course I'm loving it. I want to finish it in one sitting, but I have to update you and I have to study and stuff like that, so it is not possible. Anyway, let's talk about a few things, okay? Lou reminds me of Rue from the original Hunger Games trilogy. Luella, yeah. She's like Rue, but in a different font. Okay, when was the last thing that I updated you on? Okay, Mags asks Hamish what he wants from the Hunger Games, and what he wants is that he wants to keep his girl, Lenore Dove, his family, his brother, safe from the capital's wrath, and he does not want them to watch him die a brutal long death. And what the other thing that he wants is He wants them to consider that 50 years of Hunger Games are enough, and the rebellion in this sentence, absolutely amazing, loved it. Um, we are from District 12, the crummiest stinkhole in Penam, says Mazily. We are wild like our chariot horses. I slugged our escort and Hamish called out President Snow. Nobody pushes around. Nobody pushes us around. We are unpredictable, says Wyatt. Just a bunch of loose cannons, I agree. I have to be ready for this. BT is one of the other mentors. He won one of the Hunger Games. He's from District 3. BT's son is in the Hunger Games. His name is Ampert. We meet BT in Catching Fire. Yeah. BT is being punished because he came up with a plan to sabotage the capital's communication system. BT is too valuable to kill, but his son is disposable. I just know how this is going to end, and it just makes this story more emotionally breaking because I love so many of the characters in this. You know, the carrier tributes, the tributes from District 1, 2, 4, they're the carrier tributes, okay? And all of the other tributes from Districts 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they've all formed a pack to oppose the carrier tributes because they oppose them like 2 to 1. Yeah, that is how Snow works. Virus is one of the other mentors. As I said, she and Max are Hamish's mentors, and BT was Virus's mentor. BT was reaped the day Hamish was born. I wish you were my sister, he says simply. I'll be your sister. Great. Someone's Maisily, as I said, is a fashion queen, and someone's token gets broken. So Maisily, to make them feel good, she remakes their tokens and she makes them so beautiful that yeah. It's like people who know him know, but you as the viewer don't actually know what his backstory is, and now that we get the book, it just hits a lot more. I have so many of the everything is coming together moments in this book, and it is absolutely great because everyone is practically related to everyone. Hamish is such a different character than he was in Mockingjay and Catching Fire, and absolutely. Susan Collins' writing style is you can distinctly know that you are in the character's mind because how she wrote Snow in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is very different than how she wrote Hamish. It is very different from how she wrote Katniss, and I absolutely love it. His backstory is so devastating and heartbreaking. I was prepared for it to hurt my feelings, but it still hurt. This is exactly what I've written because when I'm reading, I don't always have a camera on me. So I wanted to write the things that I felt and tell them to you later so I don't forget. This is giving everything I could hope for and more, and more, and more. Okay, the casting for this movie has been released, and I'm so excited to see this movie because all the 5 Hunger Games movies have been absolutely perfect, and I have high expectations for this movie. The lore drops in this book. Okay, Hamish's prep team is Proserpina and Vitus, so they like make Hamish pretty and stuff like that for the capital people as their entertainment. So Proserpina, who is one of the prep team's elder sister is Effie Trinket. Mic freaking drop. Effie Trinket. Effie. She was in the original Hunger Games trilogy, all 3 books. I absolutely love Effie. I love her so much. And she's in this book. I absolutely love her. Oh, Hamish, I don't want to be on this earth without you. You and me, we will find each other as many times as it takes. Lenore Dove, I love you like all fire. That's for always. I love you like all fire too. You and no one else. Just like my geese I made for life and then some. Forever. Goodbye, my love. There is no good ending to Lulu's story. Yeah, none. I just know it and I have not even reached that part. I hold out my arms. Without a word, Wyatt and Maisie join in a group embrace. Lulu wiggles into the center of the hug and we tighten our hold, feeling one another's pulses and sweat and skin. 10 minutes from now, who will even still have a heartbeat? So, I'm going to continue reading this book and I will update you when I have let me see. I'm opening the book on my Kindle so I know when I reach the 75 page percent mark. Okay, I will update you once I'm on chapter 23. I will update you once I'm this much of the way through the book. So 3/4 and on page 304. So yeah, I'll get to reading the book and I'll update you once I'm 75% of the way through the book. So excited to talk more about this. Okay guys, I'm 80% of the way through Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm on chapter 25 right now, page 328. There are let me see how many pages. There are 383 pages in this book and I'm on page 328, I think. I'm on page 328. There are 383 pages in this book, so 50 pages left. Absolutely loving the book. I don't have much to discuss except, do I have anything to discuss? Let me see. Okay, I was reading it on my Kindle. I had to read till page 23, but I was in school and I had free time, so I read till chapter 25. Funny missing Maisie Donner, but there it is. Whatever else she may be, Maisie Donner is not a turncoat. I just saw the casting for Maisie Donner for the Sunrise on the Reaping movie. McKenna Grace is going to play her. I'm so excited. I love McKenna Grace. Skip 2-3 minutes if you want to avoid spoilers because I'm going to share some quotes that have spoilers in them. So yeah, looking at him, I can't help thinking that all the little ones seem to end up with me. Luella, Lulu, Ampert, I can't keep one of them safe. Why do they flock to me? Best ally ever. Best ally ever. Buddy, I stumble forward, spotting his tracker wedged just below his elbow. There is no one to comfort, to ease out of this world. Ampert's been swallowed up by the capital, and his coffin will hold only those pearly white bones. A cannon fires. Yeah. Claps. I love most of the characters in these books, and everyone knows that Haymitch won the games. So watching the 23 or 20 other tributes die, somewhere BT's heart breaks into fragments so small it can never be repaired. Mine pounds like a drum as a wave of rage surges into me. My head drops back and I emit a howl that bounces off the fake sky and echoes around the arena. I want to kill them all. Snow, the game makers, every person in the capital who has been party to this atrocity. Did you want a party? I'll give you a party. No, no. For me, the party is over. Sorry, my camera's battery got shut off, so I have to charge it, but I'll keep this short. I will update you once I'm done with the book, and yeah, that's all for right now. Let's read the last chapter of Sunrise on the Reaping together. But before we start, let me remove the dust jacket. That I will never get to love anyone else ever again, never more, because he will make sure they end up dying a horrible death. sunrise on the reaping. That her uncles would not have laid her to rest in the District 12 graveyard, but taken her somewhere she loved, that they all loved, the woods. Lenore Dove. I hit the bottle even harder, drinking, disappearing into the night, regaining consciousness in the forgotten places of District 12. Full of, full of surprises, full of secrets, even from me, but Maisily had put it together. Orange paint on her fingernails, this is Lenore Dove's work, her sign, her message to me now, her reminder that I must prevent another sunrise on the reaping. And it says, you promised me. With that, she condemns me to life. With that, she condemns me to life. Dove colored velvet upholstery, lest I forget. Trying to forget is my full-time job now. District 11 Justice Building. Hamish has been there before. And he's there after too, and catching fire. I just don't know, but I do know you need someone different from me. No, Hamish, we need someone exactly like you. Just luckier, I say. Luckier or with better timing. Having an army at the back wouldn't hurt. Katniss is Hamish, just luckier. I have nothing to live for. But I can't say I have no future because I know that every year for my birthday, I will get a new pair of tributes. One girl and one boy to mentor the dead deaths. Another sunrise on the reaping. And when I remember that, I hear Sid's voice, waking me the morning that Raven first tapped on my chamber door. Happy birthday, Hamish. Let's read the epilogue. I'm not ready. I fulfilled my promise about the reaping, or at least lent a hand, but she says I can't come to her yet. I have to look after my family. I first saw the girl at the hop when she was just a baby. Burdock was so proud of her. He totted her around everywhere. After he died in that mine explosion, she started coming alone, trading the odd squirrel or rabbit. Tough and smart. Her hair in two braids, then reminding me of tough and smart, her hair in two braids, then reminding me for all the world of Luella McCoy, my sweetheart of old. After he died in that mine explosion, she started coming alone, trading the odd squirrel or rabbit. Tough and smart, her hair in two braids then, reminding me for all the world of Luella McCoy, my sweetheart of all. And after she volunteered for the games, that nickname couldn't help but slip out. I don't want to let them in, her and Peta, but the walls of a person's heart are not impregnable. Not if they have never known love. That's what Lenore Dove says anyway. I don't want to have anything to do with the memorial now after the war. But when Murdoch's page came up, I had to mention him showing me the grave, and I felt compelled to tell them about Maisie Donner, former owner of the Mockingjay Pen, and how Sid loved the stars. Before I knew it, they all came tumbling out. Family, tributes, friends, comrades in arms. Everybody, even my love. I finally told our story. A few days after that, Katniss showed up with an old basket filled with goose eggs, not to eat, to hatch. I raided a few different nests so they can breed alright. Never mind that we had roast goose for dinner. She is not an easy person. She is like me, Peter always says. But she was smarter than me, or luckier. She is the one who finally kept that sun from rising. She is the one who finally kept that sun from rising. And when the eggs hatched, mine was the first face those gooselings saw. Sometimes they just graze on green, but on fine days we have been known to wander on over to the meadow. Lenore doves like it best there, and I'm content where she's content. Like the geese, we really did mate for life. I'm not sure I'll be here in the old there before much longer. My my liver's wrecked, and I only dry out when the train's late. My liver's wrecked. I drink differently these days, though less to forget, more out of habit. When my time comes, it comes, but I have no idea when that will be. I know one thing though, the capital can never take Leonardo from me again. They never really did in the first place. Nothing you can take from me was ever worth keeping, and she is the most precious thing I've ever known. When I tell her that, she always says, I love you like all fire. And I reply, I love you like all fire too. My forehead's hurting. 5 stars, no surprise. So guys, as you saw, I finished Sunrise and the Reaping. The epilogue hit me so hard. People wanted an epilogue after the original Hunger Games trilogy, and I feel like in her own way, Suzanne Collins gave us an epilogue, but not just in the way that we expected. I loved the epilogue. I read the epilogue like two, three times. I understand now why there are geese in the epilogue of Mockingjay. As you saw, I cried a lot while reading the epilogue. Let's talk about a few things, okay? Just that squirrels. I hate squirrels because of this book. The role that squirrels play in this book, I have beef with them. You did this to her. This is who you are. Enough, I scream. She is not your plaything. The snake and the bird remind Coriolanus Snow of Lucy Gray. I want to reread the original Hunger Games trilogy after reading this because he got to know so much. And in the epilogue, Haymitch told Peeta and Katniss what had happened in his Hunger Games. Yeah. There, skip a few parts ahead if you want to avoid spoilers. There's a bad moment when I look up and see my ally wearing her District 12 black and start for her. Mazily, her face crumples into tears, hides into an handkerchief. Not mazily, merrily, like as two peas in a pod. Mr. Donner sobs beside her. I'm led back to my place, obviously deranged. Ma and Sid clinging to each other for eternity. The last 10% of this book were crazy sad, crazy sad. No humiliation is beneath me. I will bear anything to keep my loved ones safe. And knowing what we know now, it hits very hard. You know, Katniss volunteered for the Hunger Games to save her sister. Her sister died. Haymitch was saving his love, Lenore Dove, and he went into the games. Lenore Dove died. The similarities between two of them, ladies first before Luella McCoy, my sweetheart, marches up. We also got a mention of Lucy Greybard, and I said that I think Lenore Dove is the daughter of Lucy, but I also don't think that's true. I think she's the daughter of her cousin Maud Ivory. I don't know, I'm not sure. Seems so lonely here without Maisie. I didn't notice the solitude so much before I had her as a partner, but now the darkness presses in on me, raw and scary. It's okay to cry around Max. In Catching Fire, when Haymitch asks Katniss, who do you want as your allies? Katniss immediately says Virus and Beatty. Then Haymitch asks, who else? She also says Mags. This moment must have meant so much to Haymitch because almost all three of them are his mentors and they hold very an important part in his life. And the strawberry ice cream and the coffee. Goodbye, Maisie Donner, who I loathed, then grudgingly respected, then loved, not as a sweetheart or even a friend, a sister, I'd say. But what is that exactly? I think about our journey, everything from sniping with her in those early days after the reaping to battling those pink birds. I guess that's my answer. A sister is someone you fight with and fight for, tooth and nail. She hasn't begged or pleaded. She retained her fury and defiance. Although for me, a person's desperation at the end is not a measure of their life. I know it mattered to her. Maisie leaves the world the way she wanted, wounded but not bored. I think about cleaning her up, but this is her final poster, and I won't tidy it up and make it easier for those monsters in the Capitol to sleep tonight. So yeah, that's for this book. If anyone wants to talk to me about this book, please, please, please message me because I need to rant about this book so much. If I talk about it more, this video will be 10 hours long. So that's all for today's video. I rated Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes 3 stars. This book 5 stars, 6 stars, anything you can imagine. But that's all for today's video. I'll see you in my next video. I had a lot of fun shooting this and I also experienced a lot of pain, but don't mind that. Comment the squirrel emoji to let me know that you watched till the end of the video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I love you all.